Good evening, my dear warriors. Welcome aboard to the Vedantu JEE English channel. I hope I'm audible and visible to all of you. Yes, welcome to the next JEE PYQ session. And we are taking up all the PYQs, physics, chemistry, maths, and all the chapters which we are covering in our ROAR series. In case you are not aware of it, just go quickly through the live section and you will see all the ROAR series. Basically, these are our classes which are detailed right from basics, explaining the concepts and also the application part. So today we are on to basically the previous year questions of center of mass and collision, which we had done in the previous couple of days, right? So that is what we are going to do in today's lecture. So let's begin with momentum and collisions, my dear warrior. Previous year questions of 2024, both the shifts, April as well as January. And in case you have forgotten to register for the MV SAT examination, whose link is there in the description box, check it out because a lot of prizes to be won and you're going to get a national level ranking. Very important at this stage to know where you stand, what's your strength, what's your weakness. Also scholarship and free study material for just attempting the test. All you need to do is register, choose your mode, online, offline. Online starts 10th October and just that's it. You will be done and dusted. 1 hour scholarship entrance test. Okay, so take part in it and quickly let your friends also know. Good evening, LSM. Hi Mufia. Hi Darshina. Hi Nikhil. Good evening, my dear warriors. So let's begin with the first question, and here is your captain Shreyas. Mark your attendance already, subscribe to the channel. Not done that yet, do it, it's for you, okay? Remember that. Well, here comes the first question on your screen. A stationary particle which breaks into two-part masses, Ma, Mb, which moves with speeds Va, Vb, the ratio of their kinetic energies will be in which particular ratio? Remember, it's a stationary particle which is breaking. There is a stationary particle, this is going to be at rest. It breaks into two pieces. One goes here, the other goes here. In both of them, their velocities, let's say this is Va, this is mass A, this is Vb, this is mass B. Their velocities will be dependent on the masses because momentum has to be conserved. Because the momentum is going to be conserved. And because the momentum is conserved, momentum of A, which is this way, should be equal to momentum of B, which is that way, because of which what happens is the total momentum becomes 0, which is also the total initial momentum. This is your final momentum. The initial momentum was 0 because it was at rest. Hence, the net momentum can be only 0 if both of them have equal momentum in both the directions. Now we all know that momentum, kinetic energy, masses, everything are related to each other. So quickly we can say that Ma Va is equal to Mb Vb. Therefore, Va by Vb will be Mb by Ma. That's all. But we have to find the ratio of the kinetic energies, I believe. So kinetic energy Kb by Ka will be half Mb Vb square divided by half Ma Va square. Half cancels. What is Mb by Ma? It is nothing but Va by Vb. This Vb square was here. This Va square was here. Va, Vb cancels. So I'm just left with Vb is to nothing but Va. So Vb is to Va is option number A, which is the correct answer. No, it is not C, it is not B, it is not 1:1, it is not D also. Mb is to Ma, no, it doesn't work out. So it is definitely option number A. Got it, brown paper, very good. Smiling Gimmer, yes, good evening. Good evening, I'm a dropper. I started to watch your lectures. I finished motion in 1 day and about to finish coaching module K questions. Thank you. I'm so glad IST Trivandrum. You will definitely achieve your dream, and your name itself is very motivating, shows your focus, and I hope you really achieve whatever portions are left out in the next couple of weeks. Okay, keep watching the recorded classes, it's okay. You can even use my older playlist. It's a very good content. I mean, you don't have to just be dependent on the new content, right? There is a artillery piece of mass m1 which fires a shell of mass m2 horizontally. Instantly after firing, the ratio of the kinetic energy of the artillery to the shell. Tell me, how is this question different from this question? Not at all different, because what this question says is that maybe there is a gun over here and there is a shell inside of it. Everything obviously is at rest. When that artillery, which is basically the gun, fires this particular bullet this way, it will recoil in this particular direction. If this is V1, this is V2, this is mass 1, this is mass 2. This is the shell, this is that gun or that artillery or that cannon which is firing this. Isn't this diagram same, just like this particular diagram? A mass breaking into two parts. And the question also got repeated. This shows that, JEE means people repeat the same model of questions in different shifts, okay, in that same year also. Even successive years, you will see 2022 model has come in 2023. 2021 model has come in 2024. So that is why PYQs are very, very important. Since momentum of this guy left and momentum of this guy right should be equal, so again m1 v1 will be equal to m2 v2, and again I can say v1 by v2 is basically m2 by m1. So here you have been asked what is the ratio of the kinetic energy of 1 by kinetic energy of 2. It will be half m1 v1 square and half m2 v2 square. So that's it, half cancels, m1 by m2 remains. Here v1 by v2 is asked. v1 by v2 will be m2 by m1 whole square. You can see m1 m1 m2 m2 cancel, so it will become m2 by m1 again, right? So which makes it option number B. B, guys, everyone? Yes, awesome. Hi Jayanti, Nikhil, clear, very good. Proud of all of you if you guys got it till here. Shall we go ahead to the next question, my dear students? Definitely, welcome IST. Okay, here comes the next question, guys. Get ready for the next one. Oh my god, what kind of Greek is that? DKKSNJH. Why do you even make that? Was it like some monkeys ran over your keyboard and you got that name? My goodness. Okay, next question. A spherical body of mass 100 gram is dropped from a height of 10 meter from the ground. After hitting the ground, the body rebounds to 5 meters. The impulse imparted by the ground of the body. Now remember, impulse, J or I, is nothing but change in momentum, which is final momentum minus initial momentum. Clearly, from this diagram, it was dropped from a height of 10 meters. So it hits the ground with certain speed v1. From the ground, it rebounds with a different speed v2, and it only goes till a height of 5 meters. That is what it is. Are there heights related to the speeds? Because I need that, since final minus initial means mass into final velocity minus mass into initial velocity. So mass is there. Final velocity and initial velocity can be written down as root of 2g h, and this is also root of 2g h. Remember, speed is related to height. Speed of a projectile, when you drop something, vertical free fall motion, by the time it falls down, the speed is root 2gh. Standard formula which you should remember. So keep this in mind. So when you drop in one-dimensional free fall motion, the velocity at the bottom is given by root 2gh. Same works when you throw from below and it has to go up till a height h. It's the exact same formula. It won't change. So root 2g is common. So m root of 2g, and we have root of h final minus root of h initial. That's it. So you substitute the mass and everything. This is 100 grams, which is 0.1 kg, 2 into basically 10. And then we have root of 5 minus root of 10. Don't worry, even if you get a negative answer, we are just interested in the magnitude. So root 5 almost like 2 point something, right? And then you have root 10, which is 3 point 1 or something, and when you subtract the 2 and multiply, you shall get 2.39. So we'll get this approximately as 2.39. Obviously it is kg meter per second. That is the answer. Understood, guys, how to solve it? We are just interested in the magnitude, so I took the modulus even if the answer is negative. Hi Pradeep. Tanuja, you have to apply for JEE no matter what. Yeah. Hi Sri Chandana. Hi Anand. Hugs from Kerala. Thank you so much, Anand. Means a lot. Yep. You have to write JEE no matter what, and in fact you have to write all the other exams. Don't think, sir, I will not clear it. You never know what might be helpful. You are going to write everything as long as you're interested in that particular section of colleges or branches, right? Okay. I have made a separate video for the best or not best, in fact, all the other alternative exams apart from JEE. In case you have not seen that, right, just check it out. It is there on the channel itself. Yeah, right over here. Do not miss these engineering exams apart from JEE. So check that out. Very important video for all of you. Moving on to the next question on your screen. Two bodies are moving with equal energies. The ratio of their linear momentum is. Sir, now is a good time to start mocks for JEE 25? Of course, if you are done with 75% of your questions, portions, then you should definitely start with part mock tests. It's a good time to start part mock tests, and by November end or something, you can go with full syllabus mock tests as well. Okay, but if you are done much ahead, then you can start full syllabus. But most institutes, even Vedantu, will start full syllabus by November end only, because very few, like maybe some 10-15 students out of 1 lakh students would have completed everything together. Okay, that's very rare. Two bodies of mass 4 grams and 25 grams are moving with equal kinetic energies. Find the ratio of the momentum. Is mass, energy and momentum related? Yes. Remember, kinetic energy is the square of the momentum divided by 2 times of mass. Now, since kinetic energies are equal, therefore P square by 2m is going to be the same. Why? Because it is clearly mentioned equal kinetic energies. So therefore, P1 square by 2 times of m1 will be P2 square by 2 times of m2. 2 cancels. The ratio of their linear momentum is asked. So P1 by P2 whole square, P1 by P2 whole square, m1 goes on the top, is m1 by m2. Therefore, just P1 by P2 take root, it will become root of m1 by m2. Now what is m1? That is 4. What is m2? That is 25. Root 4 2, root 25 5. That's why they had given perfect square, so that the answer comes out to be very nice and simple. So 2:5. Yes, C for Captain Shreyas. Very good. Yep. Awesome. Awesome. Dinesh, if you feel even once now that you can crack JEE, trust me, you are already in the top 2 to 3%. Yes, you are already in the top 2 to 3%, because there are many students. And when I say top 2 to 3%, just think about it, 97 percentile, right? It's like you are already in the top 20-30,000. It's just that you have to be consistent enough to go into that 0.1% to make it into IIT, or 0.2%, whatever it is, depending on your branch of choice. So already you have won more than half of the battle. You just need to believe in yourself. Trust me, you will be there. Next question. The body of mass 1000 kg is moving horizontally with some speed. If extra mass is added, the final speed is how much? Looks like very simple, but there is a small trick in it. Yeah. So one, just write to me on Telegram. My Instagram handle is also there. You can write to me on Instagram or Telegram, Captain_Shreyas. If you have not yet got anything, particularly because of some shipment issues, sometimes some delivery issues happen because of weird reasons. So you can just put a message to me, Captain_Shreyas. We'll look into it. Okay. Don't worry. Right. Just put your order number and everything. You will get it within few days. Okay. Cool. Okay. So what do you do in this particular question? See, since the mass was 1000 kg, it was already moving with a speed of 6 meters per second. You are adding on to it something. You are adding on to it something. How much extra mass? 200 kg. That means it becomes 1200 kg. So immediately the velocity will change. But what won't change is the momentum. So very, very important, momentum is conserved. Momentum is just going to be conserved because you have not applied any external force or impulse. You are not like hit it with a bat, or you are not retarding it with friction, nor are you pushing it continuously. No external forces or impulses. So hence it will just maintain its momentum. So the initial momentum will be 1000 mass into velocity, which is 1000 into 6. Final momentum will be 1200, sorry, 1200 into basically V. Oops, what happened? Into V. So this 0, this 0, this 0, this 0. So it will just become 60 over here divided by 12 is V. So V is nothing but 5 meters per second. So 5 is there as D for ID Delhi. Very straightforward. The small trick was momentum is conserved. If you just clicked at that right moment, you will get the answer correctly. Why isn't the energy conserved? Very good question, Nikhil. See, tell me one thing. When you imagine, okay, there is a bus which is going. Okay, let's just imagine this scenario. Just imagine there is a bus which is traveling, okay, with something. Imagine somebody jumps onto it. Somebody jumps onto it. When that person jumps, there is some friction. Because of that friction, that person will slide for some moment before they start moving together. Or imagine some trolley like thing is moving, and you throw some sticky object onto this. When it sticks, some deformation occurs. That sticky object will make some bonds and all that before it sticks. It's an inelastic collision. So in an inelastic collision, you will see kinetic energy is not conserved, rather momentum is conserved. So actually speaking, this momentum is conserved, and this is a inelastic collision. In fact, the inelastic coefficient is 0, that coefficient of restitution, because they stick together and they move together as a combined mass. Is that clear? Yeah, awesome. Right. So Abhinav, maybe I'll ask you to, I'll reply to it towards the end. That will be better. Just maintain that box and paste it when I'm about to end the class. Okay. I hope that is clear. Relative motion is not so important for JEE mains. Not so important. Okay. If you are not able to understand, it's okay. You can leave it. Just know one simple thing. Opposite directions, speeds will add. Same directions, put your hands together, it looks like a subtraction. Speeds will subtract to find the relative velocity. If you know this much, okay, no issues. Even if you are not able to solve riverboat, Rain Man, it's okay, just leave it. Just remember, opposite directions, opposite sign is this, looks like a plus. Same directions looks like a minus. Speeds will minus, V1 minus V2. Opposites plus, V1 plus V2. Just remember that much, enough. Okay, otherwise you can leave it for JEE mains, it's okay. Next, a uniform thin metal plate of 10 kg with dimensions is shown. The ratio of x and y coordinates of the center of mass of the plate is n by 9. What is the value of n? Okay, so from this diagram you can clearly see some mass has been taken out, and whenever there is a cavity, whenever there is a cavity, obviously you use m1 x1 minus m2 x2 upon m1 plus m2. Okay, so let me just write down that formula which we have. So xcm is m1 x1 minus m2 x2 divided by m1 minus m2. Challenge is what is m1, what is m2, what is x1, what is x2. We'll come to that. Okay, but before that, somebody also asked, sir, why is E0? Whenever objects stick and move together, such a collision is a perfectly inelastic collision. Yeah, that's the definition of it. And then you will see E value will be 0 for a perfectly inelastic collision. Is that okay, Ami? Is that making sense? NT-Abhyas mock tests, they are okay, but not the best, I would say. Okay, so I wouldn't rely on it, but yeah, it's a good question bank for practice, NT-Abhyas. Okay, but don't rely on it. Now, what is m1, what is x1, everything, right? So, this diagram, if you think carefully, this particular diagram is actually formed from taking a big thing like this minus taking one small thing from here, where the origin was over here, something like this. This was the x-axis, this was the y-axis, same thing over here. This was x, this was y-axis. So subtracting this with this rectangular plate had the center of mass right over here. This center of mass was right over here. So what is the location of the center of mass? Let's think. So if you look at the entire thing as a whole, this whole thing, the center of mass will be somewhere here. Just imagine, this is 3, this is height-wise 2 units. Height-wise 2 units. Is that right? So the center of mass x1, x coordinate-wise, will be at 1.5. This is 3 units. Half of this is 1.5. Is that right? Because this whole thing was 3 units. So half of that will be exactly 1.5. This whole thing clearly mentioned as 2 units. Half of that is basically 1 unit. What about the mass of 1? Mass by area, I can say, what is this? It's a plate, is sigma. Whenever it's a plate, I will use the term sigma, which is areal mass density, which is mass per unit area. So therefore, I can quickly say m1 is sigma into area of the plate, width 3, height 2. So 3 multiplied by 2, which is 6 sigma. That is the first thing. Next thing, what I will do is I will just look at this particular object right over here. This width, you can see 1 to 2 is 1 unit. This is 1 to 2, again it is 1 unit. Center of mass will be somewhere right over here. What will be the x coordinate of the center of mass? Mind it, already one coordinate, 1 unit is gone here, plus this 0.5 exactly in between, 0.5. So x1 will be 1.5. y1, check this out guys, already 1 unit is gone over here, plus that 0.5. So it is again 1.5. Because remember, the center of mass will be exactly here. This is 0.5. Even this is 0.5. We are talking about the coordinate. So you have to count this one plus 0.5. Count this one plus 0.5. What about the mass? Sorry, this is x2 and this is y2. My bad. So mass m2 upon that particular area will be sigma. So therefore, m2 will be sigma multiplied by area. 1 into 1. 1 into 1, which means it is sigma. So we got x2, y2, m2, m1, x1, y1, everything we got. So just use this formula over here and you will get the x coordinate as well as the y coordinate separately. Okay, similarly do the same thing for the y coordinate. It will be m1 y1 minus m2 y2 upon m1 minus m2. Okay, so if you ask me what is m1 x1, well, m1 x1 right from here is 6 sigma into 1.5. It is 6 sigma into 1.5 What is m1? It is 6 sigma minus. Same thing. What is m1 y1 from here? It is 6 sigma into 1. It is 6 sigma multiplied by 1. And this is again 6 sigma. This is minus, this is minus. If you ask me about m2 x2 and m2 y2, m2 is basically sigma and y2 is basically 1.5. Yes, y2 is basically 1.5. Perfect. m2 y2 sigma into 1.5. And this is just sigma over here. Here also sigma, here also sigma. What is x2? What is x2? x2 is 1.5 again. So this is basically 1.5 again. Once you get x and y coordinate, you just have to take the ratio. Okay, finally, what you're just going to do is x cm and y cm. You're just going to take the ratio of it. and you will get the answer finally as basically 15. Okay, so you should probably get this as 15:9. 15:9, which is divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 5. So 5:3 ratio is what you should get. Is that okay, guys? Everyone? Absolutely clear? So this numeric question, obviously, definitely lengthy question, but doable question. It's just procedural because you have to find so many things, M1, X1, M2, X2, right? And that too, you have to find this guy, then take the ratio, then write down the number. Very straightforward, but just tedious, tiring problem. That's all I will categorize it as. Okay, everyone, shall we go ahead to the next question? In a system of two particles, masses 3 kg and 2 kg, placed at certain distance, the particle of some mass is moved towards the center of mass of the system through a distance of 2. In order to keep the center of mass at the same place, how much should you move the other mass towards the center of mass by how much distance? Okay, so let's understand this. We have mass 1 and it is separated by some distance. This is mass 2, which is basically 2 kg. This is 3 kg. Okay, now you are just moving this guy, mass number 1, towards the center of mass by 2 centimeters. Question is, how much will you move this by? This is displacement number 2. Whenever there is a concept, the center of mass is not moved, basically it is at rest, then you notice one thing, M1S1 plus M2S2 is basically 0. So what is mass 1? 3. What is displacement 1? 2. What is mass 2? 2. What is displacement 2? I do not know. 2 cancels, so 3 plus S2 is 0. Therefore, S2 is basically -3. S2 is basically -3 centimeters. Why this negative? Because you are going towards the left side. Otherwise, there is nothing great in the problem. Answer is 3 centimeters towards the center of mass. Perfectly all right. Hi Ronak, welcome aboard. Yeah. So for electromagnetic waves, you can watch my older class also. That option is also there. Yeah, just check it out on the channel. If you go to EM waves, it's a very oops, it became me waves, my bad. Okay, where did it go? EM wave. Okay, perfect. Electromagnetic waves, just check out this. Okay, you can check out either this class. Okay, it's a very nice class of 1 hour 15 minutes, or if you want more detailed, well, you can watch this also, electromagnetic waves. All right, this is definitely there. Electromagnetic waves, lecture 1 and lecture 2. Okay, this is more like a detailed class for 1.5 hours each. All right, great. Moving on to the next concept, next question. 3 spheres are touching each other. Sorry, 3 spheres, each of mass 2m, are placed at the corners of a right angle triangle, mutually perpendicular sides, taking point of intersection of these two sides as the origin. Okay, the magnitude of the position vector of the center of mass is how much? Okay, let's draw a right angle triangle first. This is our right angle triangle, and the sphere's mass are 2m. This is 2m. Okay, this is 2m, this is 2m, and even this is 2m. Okay, with perpendicular sides equal to 4 meters. Okay, this is 4 meters, this is 4 meters. Okay, taking the point of intersection as the origin. Okay, fair enough. So basically this is our x-axis, this is our origin, this is obviously your y-axis. So the question is, how far is the center of mass from the origin? You have to basically find this distance. This is center of mass. Okay, so if you look at the coordinates of each mass, this is basically 0 I cap plus 0 j cap. Okay, that's what it is. This guy is nothing but 4 I cap plus 0 j cap, of course, and this guy will be nothing but 0 I cap plus 4 j cap. These are the position vectors. So this will be the position vector of the center of mass. So the position vector of the center of mass, m1 r1 plus m2 r2 plus m3 r3 upon m1 plus m2 plus m3. That's what will come over here. So what is mass number 1? This is 2m, and it is basically multiplied with a null vector because it's at the origin. Second mass is also 2m multiplied with 4 I cap only. And lastly, you have this mass, which is again 2m multiplied with 4 j cap only. The whole thing divided by 2m plus 2m plus 2m. That's all. So this guy into null vector is a null vector. 2m, 2m, 2m. Well, you can cancel it everywhere if you like to. So anyways, we'll just keep it for one step. It's okay. So 2m common. In fact, multiplied by 4 also common. I'm just left with I cap plus j cap, and 2m plus 2m plus 2m is basically 6m. So mm cancels, 2 goes with 6 3 times, and 4 remains over here, and I'm left with I cap plus j cap. But what is this? This is the position vector, but I don't want that. I just want the magnitude of this. So the magnitude of this will be 4 by 3 root of I cap square. J cap square's coefficient is also 1. So 1 square plus 1 square is 2. So root of 2. So 4 root 2 divided by 3. So 4 root 2, x is basically 3. Answer is 3. Perfectly matching. If you do this via I cap, j cap, it is easier. Rather than finding x coordinate and then y coordinate and then taking, the total thing. Wow, we have somebody named Shreyas too. My name. Wow, so nice, yeah. Awesome. Welcome, Shreyas. Feels weird to call somebody by my name. I don't know, is it just me, or do you always feel weird to call somebody by your name? Yeah? Is it like a psychological thing? Cool. A body starts falling freely from some height and hits an inclined plane on its path at a height h. As a result of this perfectly elastic impact, the direction of the velocity of the body becomes horizontal. The value of h by h for which the body takes the maximum time to reach the ground. Okay, let's understand what is exactly happening. So we have an inclined plane like this. There is a body which is starting to fall freely from some height h. Like this, and it hits an inclined plane in its path at a height h. After this, it rebounds and probably it goes like this horizontally. This distance is small h as mentioned, and this distance is as a result of height h hits an inclined plane. Okay, so I think this whole thing is probably h. Yes, okay, so that is what it can be. Not really sure what exactly they mean by height h from the ground or from the point of impact. I guess because they are not mentioned anything, it probably means the total height. Okay, it probably means the total height. So basically this is what h is, right from the ground level. Okay, fair enough. All right, so read the question again and again to make some sense out of it. See what we can do now. If this is h, this is small h, obviously this much will be h minus h. Okay. The time taken for the body, the value of h for which it will take the maximum time to reach the ground is what? Okay. Since this part of the motion is a vertical free fall motion, the time taken to fall in the first case, just you are dropping it from here, it is clearly mentioned, just you're falling by a height of h minus h is given by root of height, which is h minus h, whole thing divided by g. Next situation, you are going horizontally and then falling by this small h height. So it's a horizontal projectile motion. And for such a thing, horizontal projectile, the time taken for the fall in the second case will again be root of 2 h by g. Standard formulas of one dimension and two dimensional motion. Question is the total time, maximum time should be taken totally. So the total time will be an addition of two things. First is the time taken in the first case, which is root of 2h minus h by g, and then this is t2, which is basically root of 2h divided by g. So this is basically your total time. Is that right, everyone? Now the value of h by h for which the body should take maximum time to reach the ground. Very, very interesting, guys. What will you do next? You want the time, this particular time, to be maximum. Well, before maximizing it, let's just write it in a slightly better form. This would be root of 2 by g, and then I will have two terms over here. First is root h minus h. The second term is just root of h. I want to maximize this. So basically what will you do? You will just differentiate this. Exactly. So that's it, guys. You're just going to do dt by dh. This should be 0 for it to be a maximum value. So basically you are just going to differentiate nothing but root of h minus h and obviously plus root of h, and this whole thing you're just going to equate it to 0. Just do the derivatives and see what will be the answer. These derivatives are not very difficult to figure out. Yes, this is as good as saying it is minus h plus capital H whole raised to half, and this one was a small h raised to half, and you are taking the derivatives with respect to h separately. That's it. You're just taking the derivatives separately. This should be equal to 0. The answer that you should get, I feel, is this small h will be capital H by 2. The answer that you should get is small h is capital H by 2, or basically your capital H by small h will be 2:1. That's what you should probably get. Yes, you should get the answer as 2:1. Just check this out. Is that okay, guys? Just try this out. It's not very difficult. Cool? Understood? Such a question can also come in the numeric type. You just never know it. Why are we taking time, sir? Because it is mentioned for which the body will take maximum time to reach the ground. So that's why I took the time for this part separately, added the total time, and then I have to maximize it. That means use derivatives concept, maxima, minima, and just equate it to 0. Is that okay, Nikhil? Makes sense? Why we are taking time? Cool? All right. Next. Oh, we are come to the end of the class. Great. So make sure, guys, you are not just smashing the like button, but also do check out the Vedantu store. The link is there in the description box of this particular video. And what do you get in the Vedantu store? Well, a lot of things. First of all, you guys must register for MVSAT. I keep telling you this again and again because some people just forget it, and before you know, the time will fly off and you will miss the biggest opportunity to test yourself in your life and all the goodies and all the nice things that you want. So Jungle Book has all the amazing content list made properly for all of you with PDFs and notes. Obviously, you have Tatva, you have the best PYQ books available for all of you at just 899 rupees. All the previous year papers, hard copy, physics, chemistry, maths, courier to you, 1380 questions, guys, all together. All the shifts with solutions, detailed manner, so that you can get enough practice. And today is also the last day of the Ekalavya batch for JEE Advance. Yes, for you to join. Remember, this batch starts today. This batch starts today, the JEE Ekalavya Advance batch. And you can join tomorrow also, day after tomorrow, but then it will start becoming late if you delay your decisions further. So today is the last day for your JEE Ekalavya batch. The link is there in the description again. 15,000 rupees maximum discount you're getting now. You have already saved 5,000 from the original price. Cool. So have a great time, guys, and see you again very soon. The rotational motion class won't be tomorrow most likely, but I'll keep you posted. Okay, take care. Bye bye. Have a great time.